I've said this already, but I enjoyed The Meg. And now, Cinema Sins is going to tackle it. Okay, The Meg is fine. It's totally fine. Okay. They think it's fine. I think it's fine too. It's probably the best shark movie ever. No, I'm not counting Jaws as the best shark movie ever. Warning, scary images. Okay.
Okay, sure, we know he was using a little gizmo to make sure the air is breathable and whatnot, but this is still a name actor takes off his mask for the audience cliche. Meanwhile, his buddies D'Angelo and Marks get the film from behind and rarely show their faces because they're going to die soon treatment. All heroes in these movies need their cliffhanger moment when they totally don't rescue someone early on so that they will be extra motivated for when it's time for their comeback. It's their Eminem gets destroyed at the rap battle moment, with more deaths.
Back off, Alan. If we go back, everyone dies.
And we won't have this ridiculously contrived hatred for each other that will provide pointless verbal sparring later in the film.
What have you done?
How is it that nobody knows that the submarine blew up right after they left, proving Jonas right? Wouldn't the captain of this rescue boat say, "Hey guys, good call on leaving when we did. That submarine blew up right after we left," in case you confused it with Shanghai, Costa Rica. Also, in case there was any confusion as to what market this movie is targeting. A whole minute of this helicopter taking off and landing, with 11 cuts showing us different angles of the helicopter in flight. I hear you get hairy palms if you do too much copterbation. Forget that I could give two shits what this research station is called. I can actually read the big bold letters located on the fucking research station, and don't need the giant subtitle at the top of the screen. But good to know we're 200 miles off the Chinese coast. I'm sure that factors in somehow, because nothing sells shoes like putting them on Rainn Wilson.
Hung Hao Xin Jin.
Can we stop with this bullshit in movies, please? The person who tries to speak another language but says something completely nonsensical and makes a fool of themselves. All your base are belong to us.
他的口音好奇怪啊。
But he just said actual words according to the subtitle, so she should have understood all of it, even if the order of those words didn't make any sense.
Where'd you learn how to pilot a sub?
I spent 10 years with a certain whale-saving environmental group.
Why the cut there? Why the cut? And here? This is one sentence. Sorry about being triggered on something like this, but damn, was there something in her performance that they had to cut when she was talking on screen? Did Michael Keaton rig a stage light to fall on one of the actors so he could hire Edward Norton and it happened right there? Was the editor trying to make it seem like I was in a shark's mouth while watching this movie?
There could be a completely new world.
And what if you're wrong?
Then you have wasted $1.3 billion.
Funny line and everything, but did this guy really throw $1.3 billion at a research project without knowing what they were trying to do?
Laurie, be careful. We don't know the depths on the other side.
Seriously? They sent 3 people down in this vessel to go through a previously uncharted section of the water? Why not send something remotely to take a few pictures and samples first?
Origin recommend an immediate right turn to 350. This could be a landslide.
Last time I checked, landslides don't make 90-degree turns.
Margaret Court would be amazing at CinemaSins.
What could do that to the rover?
I don't think I want to know.
Hey, maybe it's time to go back up to the surface. You know, avoid the big thing that did that to the what's-it.
We've gone 5,000 meters, 8,000 meters. At some point, it just becomes a number.
I mean, it's a number that measures the depth to which at some point you'd internally combust due to the atmospheric pressure, but semantics.
Prep the helicopter. We must go to Thailand.
Good call, John. It's not like there's a timetable for the survival of your crew.
How long do they have?
Maybe 18 hours.
Of course, Jonas Taylor is a drunk now. It's the only dramatically acceptable condition a fallen hero can be in. Go worse, then he's a heroin addict and the movie's gotten too dark. Take away his addictions, then that person is in anguish enough about the time he killed his friends. Why can't these people ever be working some blue-collar job and living a normal life when they're needed again? D'Angelo was an asshole anyway.
You drink too much.
And now you're only saying that because I literally have a beer in my hand.
You always have beer in your hand. You know why?
Because I drink too much.
That's a conversation that happened.
It's Laurie. Your ex-wife and her crew are trapped below 11,000 meters.
And we could have just led with that, but we wanted to wait until you told us no so we could play a garbled audio recording, because we're definitely not on a timetable. Also, I guess it's lucky for this crew that Laurie just happens to be Jonas's ex-wife, eh? Why does there always have to be a connection? By the way, this does nothing for the movie, other than forcing Jonas to come to the rescue, and Laurie basically does nothing for the rest of the movie.
But I feel I owe it to my crew to give this rescue the best chance of success.
And that best chance is someone who is a heavy drinker that hasn't dived in 5 years, and probably has serious psychological issues related to diving. Surely there are other Jason Stathams out there.
We got a camera lights.
Oh, these assholes just remade Deep Star 6, didn't they? Remember, kids, always have freshly applied makeup and a high ponytail before attempting any submersible vessel dives.
Some of life's in your hands.
Pretty much. Is that a problem?
Nah, you look like you might actually know what you're doing.
She does? Oh, it's because she's hot, isn't it?
You must be the crazy guy.
Kids.
Dad was a Pilates instructor in Taipei.
According to screenwriters, every time a husband cheats on his wife and runs away with his mistress, it's with a Pilates instructor. It's 2018. It's time for more mistresses to be chemical engineers.
It's 2019 now.
He's gonna black out.
This fucking guy. I might as well have called this character Dude Who Came From His Mother's Womb Bitching About Jonas, because that's really his only character trait. Sure, he does an about-face after this mission, but he ends up getting eaten by a shark, so f*** him.
At this speed, I'm gonna have to divert power from the heaters and shut down anything that get ice over.
But just a minute ago, Ruby Rose said...
It's like he's diverted all non-essential power like heat and life support to the motors.
When she was asked why Jonas was going so fast. So if he's already diverted the power from the heaters to do that, how much more power does he have left to divert?
I wonder if Cinema Sins will ever tackle Ruby. Yeah, probably not.
Got visual on the origin. I can see movement.
Okay, they're alive.
How the f*** do you know that? Just by looking at the ship. Also, we already knew this because Heller said he still had access to their vitals, which is way more important than your visual confirmation of the ship on the ocean floor. As big as this shark is, how is it possible that no one can see it until it's right on top of them? And yes, I know, this ends up being a squid, but she should have seen that as well. Deus Ex Machina. I guess the Meg just wants to wait for a moment that will serve as better dramatic timing when it attacks, because it's probably been done chasing flares for at least a couple minutes. I'm gonna make an argumentative point here. She would be so happy she was rescued, she wouldn't even care this is her ex-husband. Does anyone remember that she also has a screwdriver stuck in her stomach? Come on.
Here's something that my dad actually brought up after we came back from the Meg. The reason why the screwdriver isn't removed is because, well, if she removed the screwdriver, she would die by losing a lot of blood. A lot of blood would come out, and she would die of losing blood. My dad's actually a nurse, so he knows this kind of stuff. But yeah, I just figured to point that out.
Can we be like Jeffrey Pelt in The Hunt for Red October and dispense with the bowl? Choshi saves the others by sacrificing himself, and that's pretty noble of it, but my main issue here is what the f*** is the shark attracted to if there are no lights and no movement? Slow motion Statham shower.
You're naked.
Movie has different definition of naked than I do.
You should put on some clothes.
Yep. It's the original plan.
Nothing like a little post-colleague was eaten by a shark flirting to get morale back up to speed. Male gaze.
The Meg could bite the whale in half.
Roll credits.
Living fossil.
The Meg could bite the whale in half.
Roll credits.
Living fossil.
That living fossil ate my friend.
Technically, that living fossil charged the origin and it exploded your friend, but I'll forgive you because you're distraught. So why am I still adding a sin? I don't know. So did everybody at headquarters fall asleep at the wheel when this giant 25 or so meter shark approached it? Is there no radar? And wouldn't this cause some sort of breach alarm? I think I heard this place was built for $1.3 billion, so damn well it should.
But a minute later, when the evolution came up, the temperature increased by 25 degrees. A shark could come right through there.
This movie is telling us that the Meg could only come up through the layer if the temperature shot up by 25 degrees. And a huge plot point of this movie is that Jonas encountered a large sea creature just like this 5 years ago in another rescue attempt. But what happened back then to allow the Meg to shoot through the layer? Remember, this is the first time the layer was ever breached.
What's the Meg?
Oh, yeah.
Now.
Or call the Coast Guard. It's absolutely ridiculous that these scientists plus the billionaire all go out to engage with the Meg, when it should be a bunch of rescue experts like Jonas. It's like the rescue effort requires all the characters we've been introduced to in the film, regardless of their actual rescue experience.
These sharks have no fins.
That's because their hats are like shark fins. They're clearly in no condition to be wearing hats.
All for a bowl of soup. Looks like the Meg evened the score.
The Meg 4, The Revenge. This time it's personal.
Unfish did all this? Ask it yourself.
At least the Meg is nice enough to pop its fin up to